In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a listening lesson in OLLI. The first thing that you need to do is make sure that your editing is on, so you need to be able to see these icons here. Then you'll click Add an Activity or Resource. When you click on that, choose Lesson, which is located right here. Click Add. Now in this lesson here, what you're doing here is you're setting up the parameters of the lesson. So first you're going to give it a title, and in this case it'll be how to create a listening lesson. Everything here should be left at the default. It's possible that you can change these later if you wish. You can even password protect this lesson, but let's, for basic purposes, just keep it at the default. In terms of the grade category, this is going to be a relatively low point assignment because it is just practice for listening. In the grade options category, I'm going to leave everything at the default setting except the display ongoing score. I'm going to change that to yes. And what this is, when the student is taking the lesson, they get a chance to see their score throughout the entire lesson. So that's very useful in case they want to know what their grade is at every point along the way. In flow control, I'm going to keep everything at the default except for the progress bar. Progress bar, I'm going to change to yes. And what the progress bar is, it's a way for the students to know how much of the lesson they've actually completed and how much further the lesson is. So they don't have to be bored or wondering how long the assignment is. They get a really clearly detailed understanding of how long the file is, or the lesson is. The rest of this, I'm going to keep it all at the default settings and then click Save and Display. And then you have your blank page here. And what I'm going to do is talk you through how to create the lesson. So the two buttons that you're going to use to create the lesson are the preview and the edit buttons. These are the creation things. And the reports and grade essays button, these are what you're going to use after the students have taken the lesson. This is a way for you to see their grades and their score. The two buttons that you're primarily going to use for this section is add a content page. The content page acts as your front page, and it allows the students to choose which direction they want to go in. And then you'll probably be using the question page the most. So the content page and the question page are the most important ones. So let's start with our content page. Just click that. So here's the content page I've created. I added a title and I put a basic question to get the students thinking, and then a description of the task. And then in very small type, I put the source of the file. Now, the content page, the students get to choose which direction they want to go in. So for the first content, I've included video. The second content, vocabulary. And the third, content comprehension. So these will show up as buttons on the page, very much like what you just did when you're learning this lesson. The other feature that's really important to know is this jump. So you're going to have to choose which page this jumps to. But since you don't have any pages set up right now, you don't have to change it. So you'll probably want to do this at the end. So once you're finished with your lesson completely, come back to this page to edit it and then choose where it will go, what page it'll jump to. Okay, so once you're done with that, click Save Page. So now that you have your content page, this is what it looks like on the editing template. You'll need to add a question page. So click on Add a Question Page. And what you'll see is the question types. So it defaults to multiple choice, but you have numerous choices for in terms of questions that you'd like to create. So I'm going to keep this as multiple choice and then click Add a Question Page. Now this is my question page, and in my mind I'm thinking about the 3 buttons that I listed. It was video, vocabulary, and comprehension. And so what this page is the video page. So I give it a title, I add the contents, I embed the video, and I ask a basic question: how many times did you watch the video? So there's no right or wrong answer here. I just really want to know how many times they watched the video or listened to the audio. For the first answer, I said, I didn't watch it. So my response is, you have to try again. And so the jump is going to be to this page. So what will happen is when the student answers that question, they're going to not advance through the lesson. They're going to have to stay on this page until they until they watch the video, basically. The score will be 0. The remaining answers are 1 time, the jump is to the next page, and the score is 1. And for the remainder of the assignments, I added next page and the score as 1. If it's 2 or 3 times or 4 times, then I click Save Page. Now, as I scroll through, I have my content page, I have my video page, so now I know it's time to start my vocabulary page. So I'll click Add a Question. In this question page, I give it a title, and what's important about this title is that I have to know that this is the first vocabulary. So I may want to type in vocabulary. And I know that that's number 1 vocabulary. That's going to be important when I go back to my content page to try to find where that page has to jump to. Here I can choose a multiple answer. That means that the student could choose more than 1 correct answer, but it's not. There's 1 correct answer. I've added the answer and the response. So what I like to do is answer number 1 is usually always the right answer. So that's how I organize my lesson. The first answer is generally the right answer, and the remaining answers are the incorrect answers, so that I always know that this first page is going to jump to the next page with a score of 1, and all the remaining non-correct answers are going to jump to this page with the score of 0. Then I click Save, and I continue to add question pages and creating right and wrong answers. So I can do that throughout. Okay, so now this is my first comprehension question. And like I said before, the title page should be very, very clear to you that it's comprehension, it's the first question, it's where the content page needs to jump to. So that will, if this is clear, it will help you later. But again, I just choose the first answer as generally the correct answer, and the remaining answer choices as the incorrect answers. Then I click Save Page. Okay, so once I'm completely done with my lesson, I need to check it, and I'll click the Preview button. And in the preview button, you can see that the ongoing score is going to be displayed, the progress bar is going to be displayed, but you can't see it because as a teacher, you have a certain kind of a view. So I want to double check that I went back and changed my buttons. So the video button should take me to the video. Okay, I click my back browser button and I check the vocabulary. Ooh, but it jumped to the video. Okay, so I clearly didn't do something. So I go to this edit button here, and I go back to my content page. I click this editing icon here. which opens me up to that page. And I double check the jumps. Okay, the video is next page. Okay. Vocabulary, whoops, it's next page. So this is wrong. I need to actually take it to the first vocabulary. I check the comprehension. Oh yes, it's next page. I have to make sure that it's the first comprehension question. Then I can save the page. Go back to preview. And then double check my buttons. So if I click vocabulary, it should take me to the first vocabulary section. If I click comprehension, it should take me to the first comprehension question. So it does that. So what you'll want to do is go through the entire lesson from start to finish, double check your work, make sure everything links to everything else, and then you're done. So basically that's how you create a listening lesson in OLLI. I hope it was helpful, and have fun.